Hello. Greetings. Hello there.
Howdy.
All right. I'm hoping that you guys are hearing me today. Forgot to fire up one of my apps, so I had no mic. Great. All right. So today is going to be a bit of a weird one. I'm just trying to see how much my screen appears to be leaking my real name, and we may just go with it. So today is one of those days where I'm going to finally get around to... I may have to close this one. I'm going to finally get around to starting that archive world I've been yakking about. I know about as much as what we're doing today as you do. So we're going to play it by ear and just see what we can see. Now, I'm just going to turn on the desktop capture for my screen, and then I will get you guys going live. It's a bit of a mess, so apologies in advance for any of the apps that are in the way at the moment. I'm just dragging one piece off that's a little crazy. Okay. I think that will work. Maybe. Let's try this. Random. So it's a mess. You can see. Good morning, everybody. Now, before we get too far here, let me roll back and say hello to people. Good morning, Glenn. Geez, I'm welcoming myself. That's a good start. Good morning, Mama Bear. How are you this morning? Good to see you online, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Hope your day's starting out well. Let's see, Geeko got swapped. They were talking about Disney, live-action films. One film in which a character has superpowers. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Good day to you, Mike Burton. Hello, all. And good day to you, too, Mel. Hello. Surprised to see you, too. I'm glad you guys are having a great start to your morning. Well, hopefully. Oh! And a Fantastic Sherlock Fox is right on the hot button this morning. Got rid of some unwelcome visitors. All right. You're hearing me. Yay! And it's not tinny. That's good. So what we're seeing here, this mess right in the center is how I normally run my games. It's the Prism Launcher. I quite like it because it becomes super duper easy to add a new instance or update things or whatever, yada, yada, yada. So of that, I've opened up a few of the old ones in the ungrouped section at the top. So I'm just going to pull this out of the road. Wrong way. Minimize for now. Bloop. There we go. I'm getting noises from all kinds of things. I think I've got an old Franker face kicking around in there somewhere. Okay, so when I take a look at the server I usually use for Dadcraft's stuff, and I just leaked the old IP. Sorry, wrong item. When I look at that, I've got one of the old seasons for Java. So I'm not particularly sure which one that is. I think since I'm seeing a thumbnail, you guys probably aren't, but it's got a huge map on the wall. I think that's probably a season before I started streaming. That might be worth looking at. I do not have, I can find, looking for old solo worlds. I've got a few. I tried one of the MHCs after the monthly hardcores, not hardcores. Yeah, monthly hardcore challenge, things that DC used to do. So I've got one of those. Let's see, Let's Play Together. That was a family one. Big Redwood I opened. I don't even remember what that was about. I think somebody's designed a semi-redwood forest. So I've got those ones, and that's not what I want today, so I'll close that up. Oops. I leaked it. Sorry. So, we're going to pretend that's not a thing. Treader's Temples. Okay, that's Test Worlds. This one's the Test Worlds collection, and we've got things in the wrong place. So I was looking for Dad Rock Season 1, converted, so that's what I wanted. Build tests, plenty of build tests. And Avo stuck it. Can I move this one over here? Move it over there? Hello? Want to go? Maybe not. It's just taking its time. It may crash. That's okay. It'll crash. Anyway, it's stuck to my mouse now. Can't do anything with that. The idea, what I was hoping to do, is poke around a couple of the older seasons. Just double check to make sure that we had our schematics of what we want, and then we'll grab a new world that I have no idea what it's going to be. I haven't even picked the name for it or the name that's going to generate the seed. So it might be something cheesy like Archive World or something. But as you can see, I'm apparently missing some downloads that I'm going to have to see if I can talk to people to get a copy of. Because I'm fairly certain that there's a bunch of stuff I don't have in here. Like, I don't see the other seasons. But they might be on one of my other folder zones. Let's see if I can open. I'm just gonna see if one of my screens will let me open things on it by default. Oh, move, quick. There we go. So I just had to drag that off screen. File folders and stuff. Okay, it's not on there. Where is? I have an E drive, which is technically external, but I'm just trying to see if I've got it in my rather large Minecraft stuff folder. There's Season 1 world. Item sorter base world. I don't recall that one. That must have been somebody else's. Okay. Minecraft helps. Party. Need that. Oops. I'm gonna need that folder open anyways. And I'm just trying to see if we have the other worlds I want to take you guys through. Java. No, I do not. Huh. Interesting. Saves. Season 1. Post office. Haha. Okay, I do have it. Well, sort of. What's that? Yeah. Well, we can always start with what we've got and then work our way through it. So for those of you that haven't seen it, we'll just fire up the Season 1. It says 1.17.1, so I'm going to cross my fingers that it won't explode too badly when I try and load it. And yeah, I'll have to see if I can find the other ones, because I thought I knew where they were. I had two choices when I got up this morning. The two things were floating through my head. Either muck it around in trying to start the archive world, or to do Lazy Lego Monday and start building stuff. So we may do a little bit of each, depending on how disorganized I think my storage tends to be on here. I'm just still trying to figure out where I put things. Accounts, blah, 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 blah. Themes. Yeah. Odd. Instances. So I have a bunch. Launchers, bingos. Nope. So I have a lot. I've moved from Multi-MC over to Prism quite a while back, and I was just kind of curious if I had some of the other ones that I was looking for over there. But I don't see it. I might have to double check, but in any case, we are here. So let's fire up stuff. Now I'll show you. I'll start with the Dad Rock Season 1 because we're not going to poke through everything. I didn't do much over there that season. Actually, did I? I remember. Oops. Actually, I'll start over the Season 1 there. So I need to launch this one. Cross my fingers. What version are we running here? 1.24.4. Okay. So this is the most recent set I've got, but I've never launched Season 1 world in this particular instance, so we'll just have to see what happens. And while we're at it, but no, I'm not going to open the other one at the same time. I want to trust my computer's actually going to keep streaming. So I came back this weekend. Wow. I came back from a Cub Camp this weekend that was unlike most of the other ones we do in the year. Cub Scouts in Canada are about 8 to 11-ish years old. Usually it's 10 turning 11 that year. And the kids are really wired for most of it, but this particular camp we call Cubarama. So Southern Alberta, that's too much information, but hey. Southern Alberta, in the last few years, has been running a camp that they call Cubarama, where we all get together in a small town, small village, sorry, and we get through. We had this time we had about 500 kids. Now that's not adults, just the kids. And the way it worked is groups would get together in numbers of up to 16 for their group, plus the leaders going around with that group or more, depending on how many you've got. And then they would go around to various different stations. I'm not in creative in this one, so I probably should do that. Ooh. Okay. Game. Interesting. So I appear to be in survival. Okay, well, we just want to be not dead in this one. So this was the world before I started streaming. Let's go back up here. I had a gazillion cats. I'll tell you about Cubarama as we go. We had about 500 kids in that one. And they were everywhere, like quite literally. Everywhere. It really felt like it. So your group was up to 16 with your 2 leadership. And then from there, we went around to stations. So every group had to bring an activity. And there was only time for groups going around to do 10 activities. So they, excuse me, so they did, I'm sort of doing 2 things at once here. My brain's only wanting one track. So they go around and they get to try these various 10 activities. Our theme was dragons and Vikings. Some of the activities were themed, some of them were not. There was a lot of tower defense kind of stuff and a lot of Shinbreaker pit kind of stuff. They call it Gaga Ball, but, didn't work too well. Okay, so we'll get back to more of that in a second. In this world, you can see that I just went manual. I don't remember why I had pigs. There was some reason or other I had pigs. And then I was manual farming for leather because I didn't really need a whole lot. This world, when we started out, I don't know why I had a portal that big. I don't know. Maybe because I could, I guess. It was partly the idea that this water here used to extend all the way up to about 2 blocks from the edge of this fence. And I really didn't like... It was actually deep enough I had drowns coming at me rather regularly. So I went in and covered it all in. Let's take this out of my hand. And it's daytime. Let's take that out of my hand. We have golems escaping everywhere. They're not supposed to. So, yeah, that's problematic. But, this one basically was a free-range world. So what I mean by that is I did the villager-based thing. I found a cute little village. At least it started that way. And I just let them do their thing. So I've fixed up the houses, made a couple more houses, and you can see the darker ones, and I let them do their thing. And then we went with carrot farms for just about everything because, villager breeding and stuff. Yeah, we had golems all over the place. Then we got rid of our golems that were all over the place. And it turned out that was not a great plan for us. I was going to build something up here and I never did, and I can't remember why. But there was a reason at the time. So, yeah, that's the way it worked. So we had a lot of the guys just running on free range. The ones that I actually had trouble collecting into one spot, I decided, okay, fine, you're stuck. You're going to be in a building just like everybody else. Right? So you do your usual librarian dealio. I still don't know why I've got 2 in here. I never did figure that out, but it was close to the end of the season. I decided not to care. So it was a little bit of a hit or miss as to who's got what. This guy, you got knockback and thorns and so on. I tried to get all the books and I never bothered at the end. I had reasons for thorns. Most people don't want thorns. I'm still a pretty bad player in some areas. So there's times when thorns was to my advantage. Mending, fire protection, the usuals, right? And this is actually my favorite style of doing these houses when I can. It's because then they've got the beds to sleep on, which helps them, at least at the time, help them reset their trades. But it was all down half a block for spawn reasons, because I actually ended up with those golems spawning in here. And that was loads of fun, because they would end up getting up into the rafter zones, and when I went to try to clean them out, I misjudged a few times and had them chase me down and kill me. But the other reason I do this part 1/2 block down is because even when the villagers are standing on the ground and you trade with them, I was finding that it wasn't as bad with the librarians, but with some of the other trades, the XP would get stuck in with the villager and it wouldn't actually come up and over for me to actually get the XP, so I dropped it down 1/2 block so the XP goes down underneath. And for the most part, I was doing enough trading that I didn't really need an XP generator. So that was the librarian hall. And then this one was just, once again, it was a takeover of other buildings. This I think might have been melding 2 together. Excuse me, sir. Stop pushing. Right? So you got your usuals. I like to go with about 2 of everything, but as you can see with these blocks, they're pretty solid. So if stuff gets stuck behind, you just never get those XP. Alright. So let's see. What else what I actually want out of this world? This was the... Oh! Aha! I know where we're going after this. Okay. This was the year of the flower farm. You'll see in a moment what I ended up using that for. But yeah, that was my cactus farm. I can't remember why I wanted one that big. I think it was just a learning process, because every season I try to learn something that was new to me at the time. And I had done a tiny cactus farm, but I had never done one this size. So yeah. I at one point had daydreams of running the cactus farm off of... it wasn't originally bamboo. It was actually originally meant to be kelp. Oddly enough, that's one of those things that's still on my to-learn list, because I've never managed to get a productive kelp farm. I know they're out there. It's doable, but I never managed to get it. Yeah, golem spawning can be real pain. I think I left these guys here on purpose, eventually, just because I had stuff going. That's my guess. I find it interesting, though, that this part's kind of lit up fairly well, and then this part's nice and dark. And, I mean, it was a dark oak forest that I cut a lot of it out as I needed it, so probably what that was all about. And you can see after I got to the nether, we got our sugarcane farm, and then we had our vines and stuff. So for those of you that remember, this was the year of the large flower farm. So of course I needed all the nether products with it, because it was flowers and vines. It's the big thing. It wasn't actually, there was vines, there was something else I was doing. Mushrooms eventually, I guess. But so that was the year I learned about flushing farms. So, you know, you make your little thing, you bone meal it, and then you just flush the stuff down. Nothing too exciting there. Everybody knows how those work. Mostly. I mean, the logic is really straightforward. It took me a while to figure out how to do it, so this one's all closed in, but there's a lot of learning of redstone that year. You've heard me complain about it before. This is also the year of the post box. So, yeah. So I like this farm. I've never managed to get one quite like it since. Just... I was frustrated underneath. So this is one that does not have, actually, can I escape options? Nope, not that one. Difficulty. Let's turn that into peaceful for now, just so we don't have to worry about nonsense. Yeah. Okay, so underneath here, I'm not going to explain the whole 9 yards, but we've got these three guys. They've got their jobs and whatnot. They can't reach the composters to put things in, but they can see them enough to stay being farmers, which is kind of nice. So as you can see, what they can do is when they harvest, their inventory has been filled with seeds. So they pick up the seeds because, of course, that fits with what they need, but they have nowhere to put the wheat. So it actually got sucked down, at the time at least, into hopper minecarts. Oh, that was a joy. Into regular hoppers, which then gets fed along a redstone. This whole thing, everything you see underneath, except this gray spot, but basically everything else is all underneath hopper minecarts and hoppers. Yes, I actually had to deal with 80, I think it was, 79, sorry, hopper minecarts. Side by side. That was not a joy, because they kept popping out of place. And then underneath where this brown stuff is, there is redstone. You can see a little bit there. That, so once it gets sucked all down there, anything extra, like if there was extra seeds that got down there, then it would filter out the wheat and put it in a chest. And most of the seeds, usually, ended up in a dropper tower that shoved them upwards, and they just sit here. So if any of the villagers had extra space, then they would go over and they would take the seeds, and then their inventory is once again full. But we have extras, so whatever. Yeah, it got to be that they just sit there and despawn, which drive most people crazy. When things were hopping a little bit, no bad puns intended, hopping a little bit more, I somehow seem to have got a slower one now than I did then. But yeah, the farm used to be pretty productive. Let's see what else we got. So the usual sheep farm, nothing exciting there. 8 and 8. And I'll probably do another version of this one. I've got a schematic of the one we did just this very last season. The season that we're just finishing up, which is generally the same thing. You know, you got wool doing its thing over there. I don't think this was the year of the wool shop. I think this is the year of the flowers. So, and then over yonder-ish is a swamp that had, excuse me, that's where I put, because of course Java is Java, that's where I went and put a farm to get all those swamp flowers. Okay. So it's nighttime, but I'm not too worried because I set it to peaceful on purpose. Do I have a oh. Yes, the bad news for you guys a little bit is that because I'm not an op for some unknown reason on this version, so this was the year, or one of the years before I could fly. So yeah, that's why I don't have Elytra. I guess I don't know if I can slash give myself anything, because every time I hit slash, it starts to error. I guess I could quit and change that. Oh lordy, I forgot about this one. Thank heavens it's peaceful-ish. Okay. Well, that's not good. Because it was spawn. Yeah, that's what I figured. Alright, maybe I won't be taking the short. This was an interesting year. We had a lot. You can tell that I traveled a good bit, but also these maps coming in from Journey Map, I believe, are not just mine. One of the things that we did at that point was we agreed as a server, mostly, that for everybody who wanted to use Journey Map, we at the time were going to share coordinates and share map pictures. So if you'd uncovered part of the map, that you could talk to, say, Brian or Alex or, whoever else, and say, hey, I've been over here. It's new to me. Have you already been there, and can you share? So that's part of why I got so much available in this one. Let's see if I've got the roof. I don't remember if I had a roof one on this one. Cave mode. Oh, let's see the roof. I guess I don't need to go to that high. Okay, so I'm not easily going to be able to find that one, because I don't remember where my roof run was. I think it's this way? Oh, this is... Okay, I remember this year. This was one that I didn't actually box everything in, and boy, oh boy, did I pay for that. Now I know where I'm going. It is faster for me to go through the nether, but not by much. Without the labels for people's houses, this is going to be interesting. Oh, there it is. Coffeeholic, this way to Ziptuous. 8 nails, Del Rust Beyond. Really it was. Okay, there we go. So we're running past everybody's bases. We didn't actually do the roof this year. It was interesting, but we didn't. And it's funny because I remember coming out so many times and we'd have all kinds of nasties jumping through here that wanted to eat you. And we were supposed to be more or less gas resistant, but yeah. The number of times I was blown up, like standing right outside my portal, was quite high. And was it this one or was it the other one? Spare gold armor, just in case you forgot. Okay, this must be spawn. Yeah, that was me who ran around and started putting signs on some of these because I kept getting in the wrong spot. Okay. We won't spend forever on this one. Because I'm using this mostly full screen, I will throw my chat back up and see about... to not do it display capture for the moment. Alright. So, we're here at spawn. This was the year of the post office and the flower farm. Excuse me, the flowers shop. we had a great year. I loved it. It was fun. I learned a lot. Actually, I learned a ton. I learned a ton about Redstone, and you'll see why I will never do something quite as complicated as that post office ever again, because it was big. There's the post office. This is like a, some people call them TLFs. When you see them in college newspapers, 3 lines free, but because you can put 4 on a sign, it was 4 lines free. So you just put your sign up for whatever it was you wanted. Originally, this board was basically TLFs, but it got busy. Okay, so we had different people. Let's see. Alex, did I ever? Oh, there was my mailbox. Of course, I'm first, right? So the idea with this was you'd have your, oh, I don't even have an ender chest. What a fool. Okay. Do I have my thing? How to measure stuff? Sure, no problem. So they give you books to send messages to your friend. Lost and found, chest contents found on the ground in the end. So somebody had got exploded. Blew up. I forgot, yeah. Nothing will be in there. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'll explain really quickly how this works. Let's get daytime just so it's easier to see. Alright, so when people wanted to send mail, you know, ran up the pseudo stairs, okay, and then there was a box you could dump everything in. And then, let's just throw some seeds in there because I don't really care. Like, and they disappeared. And the reason it disappeared, you'll see in just a moment, but I decided at that point, like when I did the post office box, I didn't know, it was the first time I was on the server, and I didn't quite understand just how friendly people were, and I was enjoying learning Redstone, so I went complicated. Okay, you can see we have a bunch on the front side, that's not a big deal. And then I overbuilt, so we have a bunch on the back side, which most of them didn't use. Actually, I don't think we ever used the back side. I don't think anybody ended up on the back side. Yep, so there's an example of my overbuilding. It's okay. So let's use the employees only door. And we'll see if we can get up here for a quick explanation. Okay, so when you put stuff in the box from the other side, this is a double chest on purpose, and it pulls down, right? At the time, people told me composters were the best thing to throw on top of the hoppers to reduce lag, so I don't know if that's still the case, but I went with it. Whatever. So anyways, it comes down in here, and then it ends up in this chest, which of course gets measured, yada, 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 and then could turn on a light. So if I was to run out front, I would see that there's a light on now. That's the easy peasy part, right? Converter to repeater and all the way. So if you wanted your mail back, because this is actually a a sort of security locked off box, sort of. How that works, so this box has, with all the redstone, has its hopper locked, right? So I'm showing you one side and then the other. So it's got its hopper locked and it won't feed out. So the craziness that ensued after that was, you'll see there is, can I get underneath? Yeah, there we go. So there's this dropper on the front side, and you can access it and put in your key, whatever your key was. It's a unique named item to you, and then you press the button. So in here, my thing, quite literally, we called it stuff like this, Delrust Pass. I used to use a piece of white dye because I really didn't need white dye for anything, so there'd be one in here in the filter box, and of course you'd have one that matches. If your thing matched, it would stay there, of course. If not, it would pop back into the dropper and you could get it. But if it matched, of course, it does the whole filter thing and sends one copy back. Oops. Pardon me. Which, of course, this wouldn't work right away now, but anyway. So when that unlocked everything because it matched, then you just did the usual unlock. and it unlocked the hoppers. But there was a little more to it in the filter system, and just that it had to, what was it doing? Okay, do redstone all the way through there. I can't remember quite why down here there was a back and forth timer clock. I think it was to give it, yeah, so it held on to your key for a while. That's what it was. So it held on to your key for a while if it was correct, and then you have the clock going back and forth related to comparators from the thing up top that made sure that all of your mail got deposited in the out box before it spat your key back into the dispenser. So yeah, it was there, as always is, because things aren't at perfect full heights and stuff, there's always ways to just click in between and get your mail or anybody else's mail and sneak through anybody's box. So it was over-engineered and completely insecure, you know? But that was the notion, was a semi-secure system is somebody who dropped things in the top they didn't want everybody else to know about, and then you couldn't get it unless it was your box. That was the idea. So I had a huge adventure building this many units. And as I said, I will never do this again. It's nice to know I could. I probably at some point will make a schematic out of this one and save it for when we have family worlds where we actually invite my kids' friends. Just because some of my kids' friends, they're great friends, but they're not griefers per se. They're just really, really nosy. So something like this might be useful. In any case, yeah, because it was my learning year with Redstone, took a lot of figuring out to make it work. The concept that many people have seen before is pretty much it's your redstone lamp type turn on, which you'll see at the front, crossed with, do I actually even need this block? I can't remember. The ones on this backside don't have it, so either I never completed in this version, or yeah, I think I never quite completed something. For some reason I did this backside differently. Anyway, but yeah, this is my learning thing, but it's a combination of like the filter system for item sorting crossed with stuff you'll see on the web as security doors. So when you want to keep people out of your vault for, you know, storing blocks of goodies, I guess. Which I never thought was worth doing vaults because, like that type of vault, because it's a flex. I thought was a little bit arrogant. And that, frankly put, it was a lot more redstone than it was worth. Particularly after trying this, yeah. So this is why I don't volunteer to make post offices anymore. It's a lot. I know I can do them easier than that, but that's why I don't volunteer, because usually other people are like, hey, I'll do the post office, and I'm like, yep, you can have it. It doesn't have to be this complicated, but I'm not sure how I could stop myself from doing something at least half as complicated with just the lights. So there's the story of the post office. There's a little postage stamp thing up here, you know, and a little return address up there, which the return address refers to someone else on another server that helped me out with a couple of things I was really confused with. But when I said this is the year of the flower farm, this is the flower farm. Not flower farm, flower shop I built. So you've seen pictures of it. I'm just going to run over real quick. We're going to go up in somebody else's building. Yeah, I wish I could get myself into another mode, like another play mode. But at the moment, I'm just being dumb on how to do that, so we're just going to skip this. Okay. This is somebody else's shop. At the moment, irrelevant whose. So that's the flower. She's big. Right? And I wanted to mimic one of the sunflowers. I know the height was wrong. But yeah, so did that and winged the petals more or less from scratch. So I was looking at the ones that Minecraft did, or Mojang, and then kind of guessed from there. But I wanted people to be able to see out, so that's what that was at that side. And we're going to head over and take a look from the inside. One of the other family worlds I've got has portions of it as a test in behind our family world that we were doing, because I wanted to get it right, and I didn't, rather than having a separate test world where we're trying to play as a family, like two things at once, I just decided to do it off the back of theirs because I was trying to work out the elevator on this one. Ah, come on, let me in. Okay. There's instructions and so on. There's the ender chest. And if nighttime and all that jazz. So we had vines and nether fungi in the lower level. And then we had all the various different types of flowers in chests on the various floors. Right? You can see that. And we had a great view of spawn. It was fun. So I am totally afraid of heights in Minecraft, especially before I could fly. So yeah, in this year, it was pretty scary. It was, let's just say there was an awful lot of motion sickness pills going down. Wasn't quite like candy, but yeah. And actually that was how I met some of the other server players, was I was building this one, working on some of the petals from underneath, and starting with that end. And things blew up because somebody came to visit and brought a creeper by accident onto the safety platform. And they felt so bad, they wanted to apologize and help me rebuild and blah, blah, blah. And that's how I met some of the people on the server. It was kind of a weird situation. And I don't remember putting a bee in here, but yeah, I got a bee head. Just because bees, flowers and all that. So I thought I needed more space than I did, and ended up nobody really needed the top floor at all. But that's the way it worked out. So this is my giant flower. Now you've seen it. There we go. Alright, now I could have gone with another tower down. I probably should have. But I kept deciding that, you can just take your way down. Strangely enough, this was intentional. Not that I couldn't do a quick exit. But at the time I was joking a little bit. Oh, guess I missed something. The hole in here. There's a hole over there. Okay, well, now I know. But it was a bit of a joke in that you come into the shop quickly, but as a lot of shops do, you make it hard for people to leave, or slower for people to leave. So if they get halfway down the ladder and they're like, oh, hey, I forgot the whatever, they can either go all the way down and back up, or they can go right back up the ladder. So it's like that sort of, you get to the counter and they have more quick purchase items. Well, rather than have quick purchase items, they made it easy re-entrance. So yeah, that's the flower that you heard me talk about. I didn't actually write this quote. I mean, I put it up, but I didn't write it. I found it somewhere. And I thought that was kind of neat. So yeah, that applied to the flower. And I did not like being underneath the flower because that was kind of scary. But yeah, there's the flower world. Okay, so just going to double check my schematics folders just to see if I've got a copy of the flower. I think I do. Where is this one? Not in that one. Okay, where else could I have put it? Up to this. This. Edit. It's not that. Folder I want. That. Folder. Yeah, that one's showing a little bit more of my personal stuff, so I'm just gonna see if I can find. There we go. Schematics. Back. Open a new window. Okay. Ah! Come on. Come on, file. No. Fine, we'll put you here. Grab this. We'll shove that over there. Okay, so looking through here, I have a lot of stuff I've saved. And yeah, Lightmatics. I don't have this one as a okay. Note to self. I think I know why I don't have this one as a Lightmatic is because, or schematic or Lightmatic, is because I don't have flying in here or floaty abilities. So I have to figure out how tall the building is to be able to do that. Fun. All right. So in that case, let's try escaping, save the title, and we'll see about the other world that's in here. Single player. So we were in that one. Here's the Dad Rock season 1, I think, where I was, because it's the only season I've played Dad Rock. And the Java season you just saw was before Dad Rock. I can't recall. I know I was part of some of the stream this year. So this is converted to Java, and it's janky as all get out. Here's the funny thing. As far as I know, we can't pose armor stands in Java. At least I've never figured out how. And yet, upon conversion... Oops, escape options. There we go. And yet, upon conversion, these guys retained their shape, so I have no clue how that happened. I'm not going to argue with it. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. So this was the year of the Fire Hall. Now, do you have that one? I think. Now that I say that, it's an I think. So yeah, that's why we've got a really janky iron farm, of course, because it's the... Yeah, I'm impressed by that, actually. I kind of wish I could do that more often. I might have to start doing a test world in Bedrock and just put armor stands where I want them and then see if I can, I don't know, copy-paste them across or something? Convert across? I have no idea why there's berries just floating all over, but I'm not going to argue with it. That's okay. In any case, so of course this is your usual, usual iron farm jazz. I'm coming up here to get a better look at the building. You guys are not supposed to be free, unless I messed up something on this side. Oh, I know what I was doing when I quit this. Okay, yeah. So they have their stations here. They're not meant to be free. They're meant to be locked in. I was having some problems with something, so I was trying to reorient everybody and mark it. Yeah. Okay, well that's part of why nothing works. But anyway. You're in the way. So there's the Fire Hall. It was sort of a Ghostbusters theme. And when you fly over, which... Oops. Okay, yeah, I'm in creative on this one. Perfect. So in this version, you can see this guy. And that was kind of a ridiculous art, but this was the one that preceded this is the one that preceded the CAD file art with all the pixelated stuff. And then just toward the end of the season, like, this is a really tiny base for me. So toward the end of the season, I spent a lot of time trying to recreate Lego. So that was an attempt at a Lego Ollivander's shop. But as you can see, we are 2 blocks tall. And that door is, yeah, just a little bigger. So scale is completely toast to get the details I wanted. And I built the outside, and then I never bothered with the inside. But this is the year I started doing the berries everywhere thing, because it works really well when mobs try to harass you while you're building things, or even just coming into your base. They just leave you alone after that. Oh, this time I've got a fox, whereas in Bedrock I did not. But it actually worked well. So on this version of the farm here, in the Bedrock world, I had put underneath that a rail cart system, so that when I went down underneath to collect iron from the system, I guess that's the fox probably doing the berries thing. Anyways, all of the mobs that had come and try to harass things, they of course died on the berries, and then their parts that were close enough got sucked in and ended up in collection boxes. So it was, just convenient. It wasn't intentional, but it was convenient. I guess if I've got creative, can I go through walls? Nope, not on this one. Okay. There we go. So yeah, this is the year, we'll end up at spawn in a moment, but this is the year of the sheep farm and wool sales. So as you can see, these guys are all sheared at the moment, but we actually had, I believe, at least 2, or was it 3, of every color, and then a lot extra of black and white, because that seemed to be what everybody wanted. And I was doing a lot of stuff out there, and I borrowed, weirdly enough, I borrowed extra sheep to do the red, because I didn't have enough inside. But there really wasn't much to this space. Like, it was actually kind of a wasted space. Yeah, that was a lot of sheep. It was noisy. There's a reason. Escape options. Oh, mods. Escape mods. This is, yeah, the extreme sound muffler for this one. Oh, no, can't see it on this. Extreme sound muffler for this one actually had sheep turned down and or off specifically. That's why they're quiet now. And yeah, the cow's quiet. Same sort of reason. It's just they were ruddy noisy. Now I've got donkeys in here and horses in there. This pen used to be robot llamas, but when I converted, I think, or was it before that? At some point they just all disappeared. Okay. So let's head on up. I still don't know how to do that floor thing, the multi-floor thing that Bob was doing. So I will have to get somebody to teach me, because that was awesome. And I don't remember what was down in the basement. Mining, I think? Anyway, I'll have to get somebody to teach me how to do that multi-floor thing. So my solution, quote unquote, at the time was to have different floors just be, you run into something and you go do whatever it is. Then you can climb up a little bit of this onto the next one and off you go. But yeah, this is my solution for interior farms on this floor. And I'm actually surprised it's all grown, because I think when I logged off it wasn't. But anyway, see, this is what I usually do for cactus. I don't need much, so it's tiny. And then, let's see, let's go up one more. Actually the storage floor. Nope, next one wasn't the storage floor. The next one was my bamboo and sugarcane floor. And I can't remember why I wanted the sugarcane this much. I think it was for trying to do librarians or something. They wanted paper. And so in the part of the learning process element was, this is the biggest sugarcane or bamboo farm I had built. So that was my learning that year. Right? And if you get ice, then when the water ends, things will just keep on going through. And I tried buttons, and I tried signs, and I tried trapdoors at one point, and it was just all janky. And there is somewhere in here behind the ice, I think, is rail cart system, which I've muted that as well. It was darned annoying. And what ended up happening with all of these was, this is the year of scaffolding. So these I would turn into, oh, that's in the way, okay. You, and you, oh, I don't want to break it, shoot. Okay, well, anyway, turn into scaffolding, and then the scaffolding was my burn source, because you could get fairly accurate usages of them when I smelted things. And I kept smelting cactus. I can't remember what I wanted that much green dye for. There was a reason at the time. You know, potatoes and whatever. So yeah, that was that noisy floor. I guess if you're going vertical, there is a lot of places you can put things. But this was actually my storage. It used to be, I think some of this was all the way down there. Actually, no, this wall wasn't. Okay, that wall was all the way down. Now that I look at it, I actually think a lot of it didn't convert. Okay, well, that's okay. You know, in creative you don't really need it to. So I actually did have a lot of, like, 3 high chests all the way down the wall, manually sorted, and then this one all the way across the back was dirt and stone and things that were very repetitive. And then this one, thank heavens that survived, was all the wool types. And then we just had a little ladder off to the roof, which I can't remember why I wanted to be up here. There was something I wanted up here. And at the time, actually, because of the render distance, I had absolutely no idea that I was this close to the neighbors. But what's funny about this base, I didn't know about this. Absolutely no idea about that one. And then the other thing I didn't know about oddly enough, oh, hello cow, is if you go up in this other direction. I didn't want anything spawnable. If you go up in this other direction out that way where you see the village, that's actually an abandoned village, which apparently, right under this hill, was where people found the stronghold. So when you go into the Nether, quite literally, it was like stronghold across the hallway. So yeah, that was less than optimal at first. I don't remember whose base this was. The other one you get to when you go to the Nether, underneath here, or well, from my place, I guess, was Stormy Owl's base was nearby. Yeah, it was, well, considering that I'm not an Elytra flyer in this particular season, it was kind of annoying, to be honest. But that was just because there are things about this season that I regret, not the least of which was just that I didn't do more with it. But yeah, we'll get there. Anyways, so I tried to expand across. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'm scouting and all that. I'm going to do this sort of thing with our Canadian Scout logo. And I quickly decided that was a stupid idea. I may do it at some point, but yeah. So this was my prototype, more or less. It was going to be a camp. You start here. There's an oversized tent because I don't know why I wanted a tent that big. But I had a tent. Oh yeah, that was the HQ tent. It was going to be sort of a CK style campground. But that was the HQ tent where it actually wasn't that big. Like you get one spot, and I think I had some... Wow, this really didn't convert. I had chests and things in here. So yeah, this odd. Interesting. I have to try again. Anyhow, so that was the test campground. And I thought about doing another one. People said, hey, do another campground. This would be kind of cool. And by the time I thought, maybe I'll do it, quote unquote, this year. Yeah. We had CK's wonderful campground on RV Resort. So I think it's not that I don't want to do it, but I think the community could probably use a bit of a break in between. So that's not my plan this year. Although if I go in camp places, as in like hobo at somebody else's base for a while, then I may do something like a little bit like that as my marker. But like Mel or Wolfen and her yurts. So yeah, that was that one. Okay, so this one, because I'm creative, I can get to spawn faster. But this was the year of the sheep. Sounds like a zodiac calendar when you say it that way. Okay, the writing didn't show up. This is probably a good thing, and it's dark for you guys. So yeah, I learned very, very quickly that I have what if she got a label name? The point was, I felt small. I regularly do. That's just me, feel small in comparison to others. And so this was part of my hiding under a rock. There might be a Year of the Sheep in those calendars. Yeah, or the Ram or something like that. But yeah, this is part of my hiding under a rock, in that I wanted it to be as black and as dark as possible and as short as possible. And what had been in this little hole was a wonderful donation from, I think it was Iron Man Hockey. But this was the year I was hanging out with friends with Spitfire and stuff. But yeah, so this used to be something along the lines of a line from the Rolling Stones song Paint It Black. Yeah, because yeah, it was a black, depressing hidey hole, and we had mini blocks that blocked up all this space so that it was as close as you could be to plugging it and hiding it entirely. And I didn't have a label on the wall, and that was intentional, and so on and so forth. Because I felt small and I didn't really want people to visit all that much, because I had no confidence in my builds. Gee, is that common? So this was, I believe, Stormy's. And I think the end was down there, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe that was Stormy's and this was the end, because the hallways looks nice. So yeah, it really was that close. I think that was the end portal one. We can go a little faster. Oh, maybe not. So I wanted to help this year with the hallways and stuff, so it was easy to help build some of this. This was our main hallway, of course, bedrock and all that. It's not on the roof, and we had Spitfires all the way down, and then there was some dust ups and rub ups and whatever, and I was really glad that I was hiding, just because I could pretend that that it wasn't going on. But also it was the year I discovered that if you don't jump in on a community project early, the enthusiastic ones will get it done before you really realize what's happening. And that ended up being, I donated some of the carpets that were used for some of this stuff so people could get on the carpet side of the road, because there's soul sand under there, so we can get faster. And this was also one of the first years people were doing, or I was involved in, where people were doing the hallways. Oh, come on. I want to be higher. I don't quite remember hanging around for all of this stuff, but I've flown into that a few times. So, yeah, it was mistakes. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of these weird little things with the spider webs and the spots up top were actually, they ended up being what was designed for Elytra launching pads. No, not this year. No, didn't fly this year. This year I was all about getting the speed boots as fast as I could, because I've discovered that the road, the ice road, I tried that a few times and I can't control anything, and so I kept smashing into stuff. And this one, this end, I ended up, until they put the soul sand in off to wherever that was going, I actually would like fly off in really weird directions, so I just gave up on that. We had it was a jungle temple from, like, reversed from the overworld. It was great, except it kept, the reason it's covered in, or part of the reason it's covered in lava, was partly that we discovered we were under a lava lake. So that was a bit of a pain in the butt. I remember people taking hours and hours and hours to unload it. And so there were thousands of buckets, it felt like. Anyway, so that was part of the reason that's covered in lava. The other reason was because as this thing was being built, the people building it kept collecting deaths simply from hoglins that would show up. So yeah. And I'm a little nervous about the conversions in some spots, just because I'm not entirely sure what it did, and I may end up having to reconvert the file. That's one I do have to reconvert. All right. Oh, haha. Yeah, we had, okay. There were a lot of jukeboxes in this one, and I don't know what they were doing. Okay, so as I'm creative, I can do this. We had quite the spawn. I think this is one of the first years of concrete and balloons and stuff. There's the concrete sales balloon. There's one of the instances of the bubblegum machine. That wasn't me, but lovely places. And I can't remember what was going on over here. But yeah, so we had somebody doing temples, and it was really kind of cool. I think this pyramid was like the wood shop. This is the year that, because I felt small, it's gonna sound dumb, but I did my shop twice. So I had a chest that was double wide chest, oriented the opposite direction. So I think it was back a little further, maybe. And the first thing was I had a carpet that was based off of carpet from Aladdin, in like the Disney's Aladdin movie. And when people started putting things in behind, it wasn't that they got too close per se, but yeah, I was double wide, nearly into the section over there with the carts and things. And then the main hall started going in behind me. So yeah, I wanted to shrink, quite literally. It was just an emotional thing. So I chopped the thing in half, basically. Actually, technically, I tore the whole thing down. Did a brand new carpet out front. So this back line actually, I think, was where the front of my carpet had been, my first carpet had been. And yeah, so I did have the flying carpet shop. It's not what it's called, but yeah, and then I ended up changing it to, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a pickaxe in there, and you can sort of see the sort of enchantment type glint colors. And I shrunk the carpet edges as much as I could and so on. So that worked out fairly well. And then I redid the chest so to be single wide, which actually looks kind of dopey, to be honest with you, because the scale and double worked a little bit better just because the lines appear thinner. But anyway, so I redid the chest and made it so that people could get in a little easier. So then we had all the different colors of carpets on the bottom, and there we go on the top. So I mean, when it was double wide, I really didn't need to have as much space. Like, it was actually spread out, and there were little stations of each color and so on. And there were boxes of shulkers I think you could get, fill a shulker kind of deal, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah. And I was semi proud of the carpet, so that's why the floor was see-through down here. I was kind of proud of it, but not proud of it all at the same time. You know, we've got there. It's the Black Holloway effect. So yeah, that was happening, and then this part actually up here existed purely because a lot of people like to fly. I didn't end up putting stairs off, or what do you call it? Scaffolding off the top of here. I figured if people were silly enough to land up there, they could find their own way down. But when they landed on the roof or the glass or whatever, then there was an easy way for them to get inside the shop. But part of the other reason I shrank it, if I can find it, I think. Yep, there it is. So this is one of the years that I just reacted badly. So shame on me. We're not going to go there more to say it. Shame on me. But I took long enough to build my shop that it was incomplete when this one opened its doors. You know? And I still had the big projects to do back at base and stuff. So I finished mine, but yeah, we had some interesting conversations. So there was a lot of positiveness, but of course, I just felt small again. It's just, I do that too easily, suffice to say. So anyway, but for those of you, because I have render distance up, those of you who've heard about it, and the reason we tell Ross that she is not allowed to make boats anymore is because this Disney Cruise Line ship is Ross's. And it has as much detail on the inside as it does on the outside. Yeah. There's a cool little craft there. I like that one. I always like the pirate ships. Those are cool. But yeah, this is Ross's ship. And this is just how it converted. I mean, it was even better in Bedrock. So there were... But this is also partly why we bugged Ross for months about her shulker monsters being everywhere. Yeah. Like, you can start to see through the windows that everything on the inside is decorated too. It's insane. So very quickly, when you usually get, I think it was, where were we at that year? I think we were, we started out higher render distance, not high, but like still in the teens somewhere. I can't remember if it was 14 or 16 that we started with, but yeah, we went down to 12. So as you can imagine, you can't see the vast majority of this when you get on there. It's huge when you can see it, right? And oh, it's nighttime. Let me time set. Ooh, there we go. So in the daytime, it's huge, like crazy. But yeah, we bugged her for months about the shulker monsters everywhere. And the number of supplies and stuff. And it was really funny because briefly, mine wasn't one of the shops, but briefly there were a couple of little tiny shops that had, I think it was like one of the chicken stands or something. I think it might have been this one over here in the cart that actually briefly had a like a chicken cooker or something that you would normally want to keep loaded, and it went gangbusters in terms of production simply because Ross was over here so frequently. But yeah, if you ever want to see a build that involves an awful lot of quartz, you can start to see weather weird. So if you ever want a build that has an awful lot of quartz in it, there you go. Like, that's insane. So this season they didn't have a Susrock Dunes, but they did end up having a courthouse, or court chambers and stuff inside the hall. Let's see, what do we got? I think. There you go. There's the pews. There's the lawyer tables. The judge could preside just standing here. And then at the other end, I believe we had a school, which was kind of cool. I like that, desks and stuff. I don't remember what all this was. We had some... That mini heads must have been, or mini blocks. So yeah, then we had a lot of our museum-y stuff, and people had offices. Not everybody had offices, only some of them. That's where we started the decorating of the offices, and then the following season they went nuts with the decorating of offices. I like this one that the person had put a mini fridge in their office. Kind of cool. And somewhere they had like a big mayor's office. There's the one on the other side. Yeah, that was the mayor's office. Is this one still named? There it is. Mayor's Netherite Gavel. Some of these are probably people's heads, which of course I don't have. So I think we talked about like the older people. This. Oh, writable book. Yeah, that's not going to convert. All right, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, this was one of those years that the usual happened, and I'm kind of glad to some extent that I changed back, not because of any reason other than I do have a schematic of that somewhere. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use that one again. Why do we have skeleton horses up here? That's the world's weirdest place for them to show up. Okay. Whatever. I just wanted to point out one funny thing. I love this witch head, and it reminded me a lot of the Snotty Villager that we have it in the most recent season on the coffee server. This witch head was kind of fun. I mean, there was the wart on their nose originally. That's the warp wood. But then you entered through the nose. Like, that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. Right? You could buy whatever you needed. I can't even remember what all the stuff was. Alright. I'm out on this one, but I'm going to at least go back to my base for logging out. Yeah, so all too easily, sometimes, I perceive things that may not necessarily be there. Okay. Oh yeah. This is the overworld side, right? Yeah. Sweet, easy places to sleep and stuff like that. And you can come back and just use anvils and whatnot if you didn't need to actually go to the shop. So I will need to reconvert this one. Notice DC's conversions for this year's Bedrock Seasons, so that he can do his replay mod stuff. Turned out a little bit better than this conversion did, so I'll have to try again. But, yeah. So I helped a little bit with the floor. But yeah, they had a lot of the supplies already, they had a lot of the plans already. So I just spent most of my time hoovering up the blocks, red ones, whatever they were. And they had a supplies room in here that had, for a while, had tons of stuff. It still has leftovers of what they were using. but it also became a weird dumping ground. Like there was tons of netherrack chests all over the place. I think the opposite side used to have a lot of other types of supplies too before the trees went in. Whose goat was that? Oh, it wasn't named, okay. Anyway, this side of the hall never got quite so exciting until we got down to this section. And the barter farm went in, and they were like, are we going to continue or not? And people couldn't decide, so it just went black. Which worked for me, right? So the way I used to not cheatingly, but just get into my place on the ground was I'd be leaning on the wall. I would quite literally just more or less walking along the wall, so I didn't have to worry about it. And then when you got to the right spot, you just kind of fell in. That was it. I'm like, and I was actually quite annoyed that I couldn't make this all go and get rid of the particles and be even blacker. But that was just, bad mood and all that. Yeah, and it was meant to be difficult to find. Which, of course, what I ended up finding out people were doing actually who wanted to go and most of them could find it because we all know mini blocks don't look quite the same, is they would go over to the end village, just across the hall. Wonder who that is. Just across the hall, and they'd fly in because you kind of can't miss this one. And the reason it was done this direction, even though everybody approaches from the either fly in or the upside down angle, was because when you're on the roof, which was my original plan, was that you'd be, I forgot, why don't the, I think before or after converted, I think I did change the roof a little bit, just so you could have another set of scaffolding to get you up there. But anyways, the idea was then you could stand on the roof and see it, mostly. Right? And I remember on the day of tours, suckered DC into jumping off the roof. Whee! Because that's all slime. So yeah, that was the most fun thing at my place. Yeah, I think now that I've got that set. Okay, so this one, let me take a quick look at that schematics box and make sure I've got that one. Where did I put that? Nope. There we go. Aha, that'll work. Writing's right over top. Okay, so do I have the... Oh, I don't have the fire hall one in this. Okay, so it must have schematics in multiple different places. I remember taking a schematic of this one. A lot of these are from a world that I don't actually have the download to. I don't know why. I thought I downloaded last season? Dave's? Yeah, weird. I don't know. Okay. So we may not be able to get through as much as we wanted to. That kind of stinks, but that's okay. We can start finding some of the places we need. So we have added templates. Church tower front. Oh, I remember that. Okay. Church lightmatics. Okay. So we can start looking at some of these in a new world. I'm going to get me out of this world. Quit. Not exactly, super riveting material, but it works. Okay, let's see, what do we have? I'm just going to pull up. This, do I want? I don't want to hide it there. Let's hide it in, edit this one and see which version that is. 18. Ecout has changed to opponents from the Punch-Outs game. They graduated. Okay, this is edit the current one. Low. There we go. worlds. Just got those two. You know, maybe I'll put the solo world here and I can move it later because it's going to be archives of all the stuff I've done on DC stuff. Unless I build other things separately later. So I might as well do that where we are. Okay, so single player. We're going to create a new world. I don't know what it's going to be called. Game mode at the moment. Creative. You can always change that. Difficulty? We don't need that at all because we're just putting it on. And the game mode and experience, of course. Okay, so I'm probably just going to call it archive. Oops. That graph. 23. Build archives. Sort of. Okay, that'll work. I don't know what it's going to do. Game world. World type. Default. Super flat. No. Large biomes. Heavens. No. Amplified. No. Single biome. No. Well, I'm trying to think of what I've done with those. Most of those are open flat space kind of things. Kind of wondering if single biome might be best. Just pick something like meadows or whatever, because if it's creative, I can do whatever I want. Now I don't know what I want. That stinks. More. Nope. Trying to decide, do I want that? Because then I'd have to creatively bring in everything, even if I went to go and sort of play it. Now I don't know what I want. Let's not do that. I don't need... See, large biomes is an option. I would love it if tiny biomes was an option too. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, let's just go default. Alright. More... don't think we need... Oh, game rules, fire tick off. Fire damage, true. Is that what I want? Maybe not. Player. Oh, player related. Mobs. Spawning. Drops. World updates. Update fire? Do fire tick off. Do I care about weather? Off. I don't care. Yeah, let's leave it. Don't care about chat stuff. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to mess with that. Spawn mobs? Hey, spawn mobs off. No. Villager patrols? Ugh. I don't know. Might as well leave that for now. What? Universal anger. Huh. Angered neutral mobs attack any nearby player, not just the player that angered them. Works best if forgive dead players is disabled. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing. Interesting. Angered neutral mobs stop being angry when the targeted player dies nearby. Yes. Totally. That's the only way I can survive golems sometimes. Disable raids. Alright. Sleep percentage. Huh. That's cool. I didn't even know I could do that. So theoretically, if I mucked with that, then it's like one player sleep built in. That's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah. Keep inventory. No. I mean, technically it's my archive world, so... Sure. Yeah. Fire. Enable players will be able to craft only unlocked recipes. No. Respawn immediately? No. Electro movement check. I don't even know what that is at the moment. Okay, so we'll go with that. Alright, so let's see. Build archives. Yeah, that should work. World is normal. And I'll have to figure out later on what the seed is and how that works. Okay, so let's see what we can take a look at. I'll probably go into Creative Flight just to start with and find a flat-ish, open-ish space. Interesting spawn. All right. Well, that's different for me. I've had a space like this before. Weird spawn. Alrighty, well, that's useless and a half, but that's okay. Let's go over here. This one might work for some of the stuff we were doing. I think I'm going to muck around with, like, terraforming. Ooh, at the moment. Holy moly, lots of caves. Ooh, lush cave. Do you think we could actually find a flat place today? I don't need a flat world. Well, oh well, oh well. No flat for me. No, totally not. The problem with a flat world is if I'm to sort of have little zones that are archiving the stuff that I had built, then I didn't really want them easily viewable from each other. Kind of like basically meeting every member of a server. How's that? One way of putting it. A season zone per, but this is not working. Got some flat-ish stuff, but it's okay, fine. I've never built in mountains, nor have I needed mountains for my builds. You kind of got that vibe, so this isn't going to work. Okay, quit. Don't bother saving the world, but that's fine. Okay, single player. We're going to take this one, and we're going to delete that one. Try again. This time we will go flat, just because. I may put up signs for seasons, who knows. Difficulty is peaceful for now. Creative. I don't need to worry about the game rules, just need fire tick off. That's the big one. Off. Vine spread, fine. Weather, off. I think that was the only major stuff we did. Sorry, my watch is not in mute. There we go. I think that was the other big one. Okay. So, we're mostly in creative anyways. World. Super flat, customize. -1. Grass, obviously top 1. Dirt, top 2 layers. Let's give it 5, just to be on the safe side. Can't change that. Resets. Ooh! Huh, here's some we made earlier. Classic flat, Tunneler's Dream. Waterworld, Overworld. Ooh. So let's see, Bedrock's 59 stone, 3 dirt, grass, block. It's basically an overworld. I like that. I'm gonna go with that. Makes it easy so I don't have to worry about it. Bottomless pit. What's this? Cobblestone? Dirt, grass, plains. It's bottomless pit. There is no bedrock. Interesting. With an overworld. Alright. I'll use that preset. So top was grass, dirt for 3, stone down to 59. Blah. Bottom for 1. Dirt forever! Yeah, that would be really weird. Geekouts are pretty weird. 2 graphic novels. Oh, that one's an easy one. Pick any manga. No, in our house we have a graphic novel for Star Wars Rogue One, and we have plenty of graphic novels for the young adult Wings of Fire series. So those are ones that are definitely good graphic novels, and we'll roll it. All right, so we have about, excuse my itch, we have about 25 minutes left, max. Actually, maybe 20 minutes, ballpark. So I can go with this one then. Close enough. It'll do. Actually, the presets were funny, though. Bottomless World! I'm just curious. Let's use that one. So, grass for 1, dirt for 3. Cobblestone all the way down to the bottom. Good grief. Wow, that's insane. Overworld, fine. What is Tunneler's Dream? Bedrock, stone, dirt, grass block, windswept hills, huh? Stone for 230. Holy moly! You want to live in a rabbit warren? Okay, what else have we got? Yeah, it's probably the best. Redstone ready? What's this? Sandstone, stone, and bedrock. Ooh. Nope. Classic flat. What's that? Nope. I will go with an overworld. It gives me something to work with. The reason is because if I go to paste in some of these, what's the word? Schematics, then they're going to start messing with the layers, and I want to make sure that we've got space, or some space. So, which means we have stone down to 59. That should work fine enough. Excuse me. Okay. That should be it. No, we don't want structures, because I don't think I need them. I've generally built them, or they're going to get pasted in. And let's try that and see what happens. Fly in on this one. Or, well, create a flight, you know? Woohoo! Alright. So we have an overworld. Now, I think we have... I don't think I said only one biome, but this looks a lot more usable. It's very flat, but it's a lot more usable. Huh. Do you think they marked spawn? Either that or Lightmatica's kicking in, which is possible too. Let's see. Is this actually spawned? Oh, it is. Okay, so they've marked it. Interesting. Alright, might as well throw a sign in there. What's the weirdest stuff? Oh, functional blocks. 40. Okay, search. Sign. Sign everywhere, sign. What would stick out? Probably a cherry sign. Just gonna throw one right in this block. Oh, where was it? Right here. Okay, and we're just gonna throw it in there. And you just say spawn. Oops, spawn. There we go. Done. And back on this side. Here. Spawn. There we go. Done. Alright. So now we know where we're at. Some random sign in the middle of nowhere. Sheep. Hey, we're doing well. Okay. So I need a wood sword, I think. What happens if I put that in my hand? Yes, perfect. Okay. All right. So let's click this. Load schematics. We have a bunch. I'm not going to do our most recent village right at spawn. That's kind of cheesy. Just trying to see which one do I want, or what do I have? Amatime shop? Nope. Hay bale house. Oh, these are people. Okay, so these are viewer houses. I could start with that, I guess. So most of these are from I actually have all the pieces here. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I'm missing a lot. That's not good. Let me just take a quick pause. Oop, not that one. To open up the other file of schematics. Where did I put them? Nope. Saves. That's schematics for where we are. This window. But move it onto another screen temporarily. So I need to see more than one at the same time. Slaughter Church, yes, I do. Upgraded pillars. Okay, that doesn't help. Okay, well, then I think I'm going to change tactics. So I love this world. We're going to go with it. But I think what we're going to do actually is get ourselves out of here and skip worlds. I'm jumping around all over the place. We're going to do a couple minutes of choosing a woodland mansion. This is going to sound really dumb, but yeah. What I mean by that, let's load one before I test rolls. There we go. What I mean by that is I'm going to take a look at some of my downloads, and we have a few various different woodland mansion schematics I've picked up to try out. Copy it here. And the reason I want to do that is I want to pick one to work with for the new season. So my plan for the basic base, that's sort of where I live in the new season, will be having a woodland mansion to start, and that's my space, so I'm going to try and fit as many of the little farms and storages and whatever inside there. Probably an awful lot of manual sorting. And then from there, we're going to branch out and do Beatles type stuff. Okay, let's go. What are you guys seeing? You guys are seeing that one, so quit this version. Maximize that version. Single player. Build tests. That's the survival mode, cheats, blah, blah, blah. XP stuff, build tests. What is this? Okay, let's go to... That shouldn't be there, I just moved it. Delete that. That's fine. Let's go to this one. And yes, there are some leaks from stuff I've done before, but I was inspired to try and play around with a teddy bear design. Right, that. Okay. No. Do I have any map for this one? Yes. Okay, let's get away from some of this stuff we've done before. West ought to do it. Okay, so which way are we going? Oh. West ought to do it if I can actually figure out which way is west. Straight ahead of me, more or less. There. I don't know why my mini-map just disappeared. That was just kind of odd. So what we're going to do is actually just get out of these. Hey Valente, how you doing? I hope you have some interesting stuff going on for the day, because my intent is to come see you in about 15 minutes. Huh. Okay, come on. One. Alright. Yeah, this is probably far enough away so we can do things. Okay, where am I here? I want to load a schematic. Oh, and I need to... Aha! It doesn't want to let me load one that's not in here. Okay, well that'll be interesting. Why isn't that there? Minecraft schematics, this one. Load. Let's go up a directory. We're in router base. Oh. Huh. Okay. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. That's not good. What is this? 1050? Do I have 1050 in here? There's a bunch that I've got as schematic files, but I don't know why. If I can't get it to work, we'll just skip it. It's not a big deal. There's a ton that are schematics that are not lightmatics. I don't really care. So this one, this one. I think I've got that one. Try moving these over to the side. Here. I've far too many schematics to work with here. Oh, yeah, this one's kind of fun. Close. What's this? That's a world. Okay, that's not what I want to see. All right, let's see if we can get it to load that one more time. Launch, please. Launch. Worlds. Move that one in there. Doody-doody-doo. Games always take forever. Do the folder, please. We do have that one. What was I labeling them by? Fresh. New folder. Okay, so let's see if we can load this one more time. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, I'm not even seeing that one. That's really odd. Okay, well that one went in empty. That's probably another reason. Delete. There's a lot of trash going on in my game, apparently. Open up. Steam. You please. There we go. Okay. Close that. Close this. So, do we have the world launched? Perfect. Single player. Open. So we'll start with this one and just see what it looks like. And I still will try not to go super long for everybody because we've got a bazillion things that people need to do on Mondays. And yeah. I got busy last week. I actually was busy. What are we here? Flash. Oh, new mode. Put down creative. There we go. Now I'm going to get my... It's not identity if it's dark in here. Escape. Options. Okay. Done. Hey, Curtis. How you doing? So this was the one I mentioned that there's some unknown reason. I don't know what this stuff is all about. The weird... I think what the player did was to stick with what I mentioned and change out. Yeah, okay, that's what they did. Is they just did a block replace, which, as you can see, has messed up trees. That's what that is. Okay. Those are messed up trees that they just never fixed before they released the world. This is what I mentioned, where they changed the types to basically concrete and such. Fairly basic. I was looking at this one for when... Hello? For if I had decided to do more of a snowy biome. But you can see one of the problems for using it as a space is the lighting is just not an option. I mean, I like the modernized effect of it, but yeah. So that may not be a thing for us. A lot of these will start to look the same, simply because they really are the same layout. Yeah, they purely modernized it. Which, I mean, that sort of block replace thing, I actually know how to do in a different way. In a schematic, you could actually just choose the block in the schematic, then do a replace type of command with the schematic, and it will change all the blocks in the schematic rather than doing it this way. Okay, well, I don't like this one, so we're going to get out of there. Just land on the roof. Okay, quit. Let's go back to our test world. Single player. Build test, that's where I was. The modernized is out. Definitely not. It's a flat world for testing. And let's see if we can load another schematic. Will you actually load this time? Doesn't want to. That's really interesting. I wonder why it won't load those. Maybe because they're schematics? Maybe. Okay, so I guess I'll have to take a look at why that's not working. It's probably just a user error, meaning me. Is they're all saying converted schematic, converted schematic. Is there any way? Schematic manager? No. That's kind of a pain. Okay, Dewey. I said no generation on structures on this one. Well, that's fine. You know what we're going to do? Escape. Change this one. Single player. Add a test world there. Let's edit that world. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Let's go back to this test world. Get into creative mode inside there. Back to game. Okay, so first off, will it let me do slash commands? Yes, it will. Okay, perfect. Oops. That was dumb. Okay. Game mode. Creative. Tab. There we go. Better. Escape options to the game. Peaceful. Done. Game. The test regular world. Not quite what I want to do, but hey, it's ladder. Okay. So slash locate structure.
Greetings.
Mansion. 34, 69, 60. Okay. So, I can write that down, it'll disappear. PDF is boxed. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're right on it. Okay, what do we have? D. Oh, I can do it this way. So 30, 24, 69, 60. We can go look at one of the real ones. That'll do the trick. So slash TP self oops. Come on. Self This one. Two. Ooh. Interesting. So dx equals. Interesting. I've never done it this way. Okay, well, let's go that way. Oh, it's distance x. No, I don't want that. Okay, so I want 30, 24. Nope, doesn't like that. What are my choices? Game level, name, predicate, scores, tag, team, type, x equals. Sure, fine. Tab, x equals 30, 24. Comma. Then we've got y equals 69, 60. And then I'm going to close that off. And let's see what happens, I guess. Me to me. Oh. That's not going to work. T. Oops. This way. Targets. Location, destination. Oh, that's not it. Okay. Take this one. Gosh. I don't care. Why can't I figure out how to format that? For crying out loud. Give me a second here. Okay. Minecraft format teleport. Is flying that many blocks manually? Yeah. Teleport Dylan space. Okay. 3024. Oh, oops, wrong one. Gotta be in here. 3024 space. Shut up. Tilda. Yeah, I know. 6960. Okay. Let's try this. It's not gonna like me. Oh, okay. There we go. I guess that works. See, you know, you can tell I don't play creative all that often because I had no idea how to do that. Alright, so this is a default mansion. Now the whole point to being here today, why I wanted to show up here, is to take a look at some of the rooms we've got in one of the many default mansion styles, and just start looking a little bit at what I wanted to do to put things in various rooms. So for example, as we go around, I should let myself go through collisions, shouldn't I? I have a free camp. Okay, good. I have free camp wall collisions. Aha, I do not have wall collisions. Perfect. Okay, we'll just go with this because it's easier. That's storage space. That's a storage space. Going fast through the walls. That's a... Okay, yeah, so this one... Ah! Not what I wanted. So this one we will be able to get from the outside. And it's growing mushrooms. And I think that might be a good... I can let them continue to grow mushrooms, or I can change that one potentially into notes. Mushroom room will eventually become netherwort. So I can do that. What's in here? I have a lot of little rooms that I don't need for things. These might be villagers, we'll see. Alright, what the? Okay. That's basically it for ground floor, I guess, maybe? Oh, it's more on the inside, okay. There's lots of little spaces. Now, one of the other things I'm probably going to do with some of these is sneeze first. Give me a sec. Okay, so I'm probably going to sneeze. Take a look. But yeah, we're probably going to combine some of these little rooms together. So like just walk or go right through the walls and connect them together. Don't need to be quite so dark. That's a bit of a problem. So we'll have torches. Is this the... Okay, so that one... It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think a villager head's usually 8, so that's a bit weird, but we might keep some of those, just change them out. I could be arrogant and put my own head in there. That's a possibility. So this is another farm. So some of these farms I'm actually going to leave as farms and just use them. That sort of thing. Is this the... Okay, this one I might change out the storage, just make it higher. So I'll start putting signs for what all the things are. But yeah, that's the basic idea for this season, is to start just basically using the Woodland Mansion somewhat as laid out as a basic village, or not village, sorry. Base. Yeah, if I keep saying basic, I'll eventually get there. So we've got bigger spaces like this, which we can probably change up some of these larger ones to be some of those things that you saw in the fire hall, such as, you know, like we might have a sugarcane farm in one of them, and yeah, and then we might put, you know, a bamboo farm in another one. Is this? Oh, this is one of those stairs that go all the way up. Okay, I don't know at the moment what to do with that. That might be a 3rd floor. But yeah, so we've got different things like that. And different spaces of that nature. Now, if I could actually fill them with proper villagers, I would. But, you know, that's not likely. So, some of these spaces will remain empty for quite a while. I thought about doing this as my vignette location for various Beatles references. But I don't think that's actually going to work. Now this one, I kind of like this notion that they have with a big table with a mapping of sorts, like that's the impression they're giving you. And I might actually use it as that. I haven't decided yet. I'd have to traverse a lot of the world to do it, so I don't know if I'm going to bother. We'll see. That's a bedroom, so that might actually stay as a bedroom. Bison and Bald Bull. 4 titles in which a main character is a law enforcement officer. Literature, okay. Anne Perry's Inspector Monk series. The guy used to be a police officer. He starts out as one, and then he has to leave the force because he's got no idea what he's doing. Sounds like the head injuries kind of story. Yeah, so we have various little ones. I mean, something like this is kind of cool for views in terms of the number of windows. So something like that might become my bed. I don't know. We'll have to see. And I'm looking for, this is one of the libraries. That may not be a library. We might use it for another type of storage. So some of these storage spaces may actually be themed in terms of their storage. Is this the one? No, it's another bedroom. Okay, so does this one have an arena in it? That's my question. Punch out opponents. Whoops. Yep, nope, that's fine. That's totally cool. Yes, it did pass the top of the hour, of course, yes. So I'm just scrambling through the tail end of what I was getting at, and then we'll get out of here. So this being the top room... Top room? No, is this the upper floor? This is another floor. Okay, so we've got more spaces. Yeah, this is the arena one I'm talking about. So the arena one, I'm actually thinking that I might change this into my sheep farm. So potentially have the sheep doing their thing on the top level, and then in the lower level just change that around to all of the different wool storages. Tear this center section out. So that's probably what we're going to do with some of that. We'll probably build it as default. Oh no, Valente's not going today. Oh, nice closet. Okay, so anyway, we've got options, right? We've got options. And I think that was it for the top floor, more or less. So we've got the big arena space, and there's the stairs. I think that's about it. So long story made short, that's the gist of it, is turning this into some of the various bases, or various farms. We have a bunch of rooms that we can just clone the farm style out of. And, to clone the farm style out of, and just put it in. The mansion I tore out last season, manually, actually had rooms where they had different types of vertical farms, like a sort of hydroponics style. So I may convert one of these rooms into something like that, potentially. And I might even have a room per farm type, you know? So there's all kinds of options there. That's where we're going to start. I haven't really... the biggest problem I've got in the whole plan is that I have not figured out what I want for a biome. That's the biggest challenge right now. Because we can plop this thing anywhere. Now, I mean, I could throw it in a woodland, you know, and confuse people. That's a possibility. But I would probably want a woodland near a fairly large open space, and those are not necessarily easy to come by. The other thing, this is actually just one of the very many types of configurations that people can do for a mansion. Or that may generate, I mean, for a mansion. So I'm going to try and see if I can get those other ones to pop up in a test world and decide which one I want. Don't know why they aren't loading, but yeah, that's the idea. Anyways, all that to say that we've got a place to start, right? So we won't even get to the theme that we want for a while. Oddly, a location like this wouldn't be horrible either. There's just too much water for me, but yeah. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, we are past the top of the hour, as the fox kindly pointed out. So what I'm going to do is find someone to raid, because I have unfortunately some other things I need to get done. We also need to figure out why things aren't working. Yeah, it was so fun cleaning out mansions. I had made an oops in Season 2. Actually, Zerk, you and I need to talk later, because I'm short some of the downloads of the worlds. I'm going to try and see if I can find them here, but they may have disappeared. And I'm going to need to try and see if I can get some of those files back, because I don't have schematics of the stuff I built to put in the archive world. But in any case, we're going to see who can actually... Oop, not that one, this one. I keep opening the wrong channel. And Fox says Jade is up, which is probably a good target. I think it's nice and reliable. What is Jade working on today? Yeah, she's only been up for about 37 minutes. She's on Slackville, but she's adding more candles to the castle hall. So I think that's probably a good place to be. We're going to head over there and show her our support. So anyways, thank you very much for putting up with a rather random stream today. I'm still recovering from camp, so my brain is absolutely everywhere. And it feels like now that the clock is ticking, or maybe more, the fuse is burning, as I head towards our Scout Pacific Jamboree when we pull out in the first week of July. So between now and then, there's a lot of Minecraft stuff happening, and the mansion's probably the best place for us to focus as a start. So we'll see if we can get things figured out this week so that we can make it happen. So it was great to see you guys. Thank you very, very much for everybody coming by. Let's get the raid started over to Jade. I will probably see you on the flip side and hang out in the background, but may not be all that chatty. Tomorrow, if we can get the mansion thing sorted out, then I will just quickly tour a bunch of different layouts, and we can actually start making more plans on this room will be X and this room will be Y. If not, then tomorrow will be another bingo round. We'll see. Because I didn't do Lego on Friday, so there's a chance it might be Lego instead. We'll see. In the meantime, as I said, let's get this raid started before I go around in circles anymore and have a Wolfen style exit. And yeah, raids all around. Okay, so stop, aim, okay, slash raid. Arabelle. Oops. Jade. There we go. Did we get Mischief Managed?
Mischief Managed.
There we are. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope to see you guys around really soon. If you're the type that likes the emotes, the top one with the little cute wings is for subscribers, and the one below with the fire is for everybody else. And special thank you to our clue spenders today, Terrier Darts and the Fox. Also, thank you very much to our moderation team today, including Mama Bear, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, and Zerk. And I appreciated a bit of chat from Mike Burton, Minneapolis Mel, Valente Productions, and Terrier Darts, as well as Mama Bear and Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Please do say hi to Jade, and I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.